Breaking news.
Alrighty, good day. Good to be with you here from Brooklyn News headquarters here in Brooklyn, Arkansas. I'm Jackson Mitchell. We're coming on the air right now, and I know we are a little late. We were having some issues. We can't have a backup plan that we have sorted out here. So here we are. Welcome into Brooklyn News Live. I want to take you, and excuse me here. We're still learning our issues here, but we do want to take you right now to a live scene. Again, this is live right now where we are learning out of San Diego, California, where again an active shooter has been reported at the Islamic Center of San Diego. So you again are watching live pictures that we are getting in at this moment of that, and it appears we're having some issues with that camera again, though. A live look there at some of the pictures from that scene where we are currently watching. And if you guys will hold with me here, I will try to fix some of the. Here we go. I'll try to fix the issue so I can show you both the scene and the camera here. So again, a live look right now at a scene in San Diego at the Islamic Center of San Diego. Excuse me here. We know police at this point in time, they are saying that they have this incident in some way under control. It is under order, and that the suspect has been at least we don't know, but again, we're getting word that this scene is in order, and that's kind of the information we're getting here. And excuse me here as I kind of am checking sources live as we get information in. Police responding to the report of an active shooter here at the Islamic Center in San Diego. Police say the incident, and I'll read this direct quote, is still active but contained. Now, and I'm reading this is coming from ABC News here. They say children were evacuated, seen being evacuated from the area. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria said on social media, quote, emergency personnel are on scene and actively working to protect the community and secure the area. So again, this information coming into us literally right now as we speak to you. It is information that is steadily being changed, and we are trying our best to make sure we bring you guys the most up to date of that information. There is no major update, but again, police responding to the report of an active shooter at the San Diego Islamic Center of San Diego. Excuse me. Police say the incident is contained at this point in time. What containment means, at least according to this post here, that is what we don't quite know, and we are still trying to learn right now. But at least at this point in time, we are learning that this incident has been put under order, at least in some form or fashion here. So coming into us right now, and as we are checking all the information, different sources that we can get information through, we are checking those, and we're going to bring you the most up-to-date information that we possibly can. So stick with us for that, of course. Again, right now, an active shooting incident being reported here. And I'm looking up different information that we have coming into us right this moment, and I'm working to get that to you. So stick with us. Okay, and I am opening different social media right now to see if we can get something from possibly the San Diego mayor, who we know who had said had been talking about this. Okay, this is what the San Diego mayor is saying, and I'm wondering here. I'm going to change tabs really quickly, and you're now able. I know you guys are now able to see my screen, but this is from the San Diego mayor right now, and I'm actually going to switch back to to this screen if we can. The San Diego mayor posting to social media saying, quote, I am aware of the active shooter situation at the Islamic Center of San Diego in Claremont. And am continuing to receive updates from law enforcement. Emergency personnel are on scene and actively working to protect the community and secure the area. He later would respond saying, please avoid the area and follow instructions from public safety officials. We will share updates as more information becomes available. So, again, just some new details coming in here. I want to take you back to that scene where, again, we are currently monitoring, actively monitoring where officials are beginning to where officials say the scene has been contained, but that is, and excuse me here, I'm trying to fix this so the screen there is in another portion there. But officials say the incident is contained. But to avoid the area. So we are still working to get more information for all of you and make sure what we have is the most up-to-date information and is updated again as it all comes in. So right now, live there in San Diego, you're taking a look at a helicopter view of all of this going on right now, and I'm still checking to see if we have any new information coming in. If we do, of course, I'll bring that right here to you. I can also tell you some other news out of California. Kind of a wildfire situation broke out earlier this afternoon. We were following that this afternoon, and we're going to bring you some of the moments that led up to all of this. Some of the moments that led up to that, and we were gonna bring you live coverage of that. Then we had some technical difficulties. We're kind of figuring out a backup plan. We're here with that backup plan, and now we are live here with again what we have learned is some type of active shooter event occurring right now at the again, this is at the San Diego Mosque, the Islamic Center of San Diego. And I'm also getting word that there might be some type of press conference going on. I understand that in moments like this, it can be hard to get live pictures. So I'm trying to do that right now, is get live pictures of if there is someone speaking at a camera right now, some type of official speaking at a camera, and if we're able to bring that to you. But it is, as I'm looking for different feeds, it does not look like we will be able to bring that to you. I am going to try to pull up some type of Google Earth here, some type of Google Map, to see if we're actually able to show you maybe here where exactly this is. Again, this is occurring at the Islamic Center of San Diego. This is in California, and we are also getting... Here we go. As we lose that feed, we're going to kind of show you here where this is. And kind of where this is occurring at. So stick with us here. I'm going to try to show this to you if we can. This is going to be through Google Earth, so stick with us for that. And I understand we are kind of losing our feed every once in a while. Okay, I'm going to show you this. This is on Google Earth here. You now see it on your screen. This shows you where exactly this. So you see Los Angeles is up here. Then you go down to San Diego. It is in northern San Diego. And as we continue to zoom in there on the Google map, you'll see North San Diego is where the Islamic Center of San Diego is located. And excuse me here because I'm checking with some different information, trying to see if we can get more information. But again, San Diego police, multiple different agencies responding to 7050 Ekstrom Avenue, which is where this is located. They say this scene is still active, but it is contained. They say we have significant resources on the scene, so a lot of different news coming in here, and we want to make sure we're getting it all correct. And you're also continuing to take a look at a live feed that is coming in on this scene. You can see just the number of resources that are on this scene. Again, an active shooter reported out of San Diego. Where we are continuing to monitor the scene there, and I'm continuing to refresh social media to see if we have any type of new information. I'm going to take you to a post that has come in from the San Diego Police Department about 3 minutes ago or so. They do say that there is going to be some type of press conference coming up here in a moment, or it looks like there might be something like that. Stick with me because I now want to take you to another angle of all of this. This is the San Diego Police Department moments ago posting to their X page. Here is what they say. Quote, the threat as the Islamic Center has been neutralized. What again, neutralized usually means the threat is no longer with us here. But I don't want to jump to any conclusions in any way or assume anything. But again, they say, quote, the threat at the Islamic Center, excuse me, has been neutralized. Media staging has been established at the northwest corner of Lindbergh Park. That is at 4141 Ashford Street. So again, they're telling media where to go, meaning there could be some type of not only press conference, but something else that could come here in the next few moments. So we are standing by for that. And I do want to take you back to our live feed. Again, we are continuing to watch the live feed there at the showing you the scene where you see again a number of police, and I'm unable to tell where exactly the mosque is as I take a look at this camera, but I can tell you if we full screen it here, you can see just the large amount of resources here at the San Diego, the Islamic Center of San Diego here. I'm going to pause for just a moment here, so stick with us as we continue to monitor this scene. Alrighty, again, if you are just joining us, we are following an active shooter incident that occurred at the Islamic Center of San Diego, where we are now learning, according to the San Diego Police Department, that the shooter has been neutralized. I want to thank you all for joining us for this kind of later edition of Brooklyn News Live. We are preparing for the show all throughout the day, and we now have a number of different big stories that are coming into it. So we wanted to bring you this as this live pictures right now as police again are responding to the reports of an active shooter that have been confirmed by the San Diego Police Department, where they say this shooter has now been neutralized. All of this again coming just in to us within the last few moments. This is breaking news. We know this. We don't exactly know the exact timing of this, but we understand that this has just occurred, and we are currently right now again following the reports and are following this very, very closely. Right now, I want to, if we can here, I'm going to try to. Sorry, you guys, I'm working on a bunch of different things here. I'm going to try to see if we can get you a live look at a local NBC station that is there. I'm going to, as they are reporting on all of this. So give me one moment here. I'm going to see if I can. Okay, it looks like I can. I'm going to keep the volume down here because I don't want it, obviously to interrupt on anything. But I do just kind of want to, if we kind of just One moment. If we kind of just add it in all of this here, I believe we can. So there you go. Maybe here you are now seeing a look there at the current scene. And I'll put my camera, I guess, in all of this, but you are now looking at the current scene. There's also that NBC feed that we are looking at right now, and I might be able here. That this is I'm going to kind of full screen this for just a moment. This is the live NBC feed. They have a camera on the ground, so I kind of want to just keep this also pointed out and noted here because I do want to, of course, continue our eyes peeled because we don't know if there is going to be some type of press conference. If there is, which camera is it going to come to us from? So we just want to be ready for whatever is about to come here. So stick with this here. As again, you are watching live coverage here uh, on Brooklyn News Live of this scene. And I'm glad I did turn that helicopter video down for you. Again, as we are continuing to watch live at this scene, stick with us here. I'm checking multiple different things. Stand by with us. I'm going to full screen that helicopter shot that we have. Stand by and just stick with us here for just a moment. Alrighty, here I'm still with you, heroes. Again, we are monitoring a live and very, very active scene at the Islamic Center of San Diego. You are taking a live look there at multiple different cameras. As again, and they're now reporting here on a full screen, their screen. They say what we know is that the shooter has been neutralized. The reunification center is at 4125 Hathaway Street in San Diego. Pre-K through third grade Islamic school and was at the location. So that is good to know here. As you know, I was kind of doing some research behind the scenes to determine exactly what this was. Because again, as I brought to you a little earlier in the hour, we know that at this scene were kids shown being evacuated from the school, and we are now learning that this was a center that did hold children. As again, there were pictures revealing that students were being evacuated from the room. So now, again, as you take a live look right now at the scene here, showing you the very very active police presence at what was just moments ago an active shooter event, where now the San Diego police are saying the shooter has been neutralized. I'm sure later this hour we will hear, excuse me, but exactly what that means as we do in fact follow this breaking news: a shooter neutralized after what was a very active scene just moments ago, and it still is at a mosque in San Diego. So again, I want to thank all of you for joining us here. I'm Jackson Mitchell. It is a very very news busy Monday. We're going to get to all of those big headlines that you need to know coming up here in just a moment. So stick with us for that. As again, as I said, we're going to get to all of those big, busy news headlines still to come a little later in the hour. We do, of course, want to keep watching what, again, is a very, very breaking news scene. And I'm watching as well to see if we do get a press conference soon. As soon as we do, you stick with us here and we will take you there live. Again, as we monitor what is a very, very active scene. So again, thank you all for joining us here as we continue to bring you live coverage of this scene and of this incident that occurred at this mosque in San Diego. And I'm going to continue kind of here checking different sources because I know, of course, no matter where you go, they are reporting of course, going to be reporting different information, and we do want to make sure that we are bringing you not only the most up to date information, but again, we want to make sure it is trusted here. So, I'm going to check the Associated Press. So stick with me for that. I'm going to check the Associated Press real quick and see what exactly they have and they are reporting. I'm going to full screen again a live look right now at the active scene that it for sure is. And then I'm also, of course, going to check the local news here and see what they have going on. And it looks like it might be the same information that we are all reporting here, and that is that that shooter was eliminated, of course, neutralized rather, is the language that the San Diego Police Department did in fact use. They say that they was eliminated, and you're now seeing that helicopter do a little bit of a spin here as we continue to take a live look at the scene. Give me just one moment here, because again, there is a lot of information that is actively changing. So, if there is we do expect there to be some type of press conference coming up here in the next few moments, some type of event where we do hear from the officials there. So we are waiting for that to come up to us. Give me just one moment, because I am still checking in with those sources, and it looks like, again, as I just said a moment ago, they are reporting kind of the same news that we have been reporting, and that is, again, that um, there is an active event occurring right now uh, at the Islamic Center of San Diego. So again, we'll continue to monitor this, and we are going to bring you guys live updates, live coverage as all of this does come about here. As soon as there is a press conference or something, or maybe even this camera changes here that we have and we're watching, we will bring that to you live. So stick with us here. What we're actually going to do here on Brooklyn News Live is we're going to see here if we can actually sneak in a very, very quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more of those big stories, and stick with us again here as I try to do this to the best of my ability as we are again still standing by for what we believe is going to be some type of press event where we hear from officials. And it looks like I'm not going to be able, I'm going to press a button here and see what it does. Okay, it looks like it's going to take me back full screen. I was trying to see here what exactly was going to occur. Stick with us here. I'm going to go full screen again here on our very, very active scene. You can still see just the number of law enforcement. We showed you a few moments ago what things looked like from another perspective here from Google Earth. We'll put that back up on the screen for you. It's going to show you here full screen now there. It's going to show you where exactly this is. And what I can do is zoom out just a little bit so you can see where downtown San Diego is. And it is in the far northern portion of San Diego where this all has occurred. Again, within the last hour or so, we're learning of an active shooter event that occurred. And now we're learning, again, the shooter neutralized at the facility, at the Islamic Center of San Diego. So we're watching this all again. Neutralized is how police are putting this all after the active shooter incident was reported at the Islamic Center in San Diego here. And stick with me here. I'm going to be working some things here behind the scenes, so I understand that you guys will also be able to see this. And I do apologize. It's not my intention for you guys to be able to see all the behind the scenes work, but it does kind of happen here. So I'm going to put that up there, and then we are going to go back here. There we go. I'm just working on a few things behind the scenes so we are able to take a commercial break. So whenever it is necessary, because unfortunately I can't talk forever. You are continuing to watch a very active scene where now, as you see, this helicopter is kind of really pushed in here, and you're able to see a lot going on at this scene, at least from the airways. I'm working to get a camera that is on the ground. As soon as I get that, I will bring it to you. You already know. So Right now, I'm working to see if we can't get a camera that is on the ground. Okay, and that looks unlikely here as I continue to check and see if we can get some type of camera that is on the ground right now. And we are again continuing to follow the live and active scene in San Diego, where it is lots big breaking news happening, really. I'm just going to read this here, and it's not completely confirmed, but according to CNN, they are reporting right now that at least one has been killed in this shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego. They do reiterate, though, also that the shooter has been neutralized. Again, that is very brief information and information that I can't confirm. Just here from trying to bring you guys what we know about this, but it is some information that is breaking right now at this moment. So again, we are CNN reporting that at least one has been killed in all of this news that we are unable to report and confirm right now at this moment. We are still actively watching not only this scene, but we're waiting for an update from San Diego police. We are learning that there could be some type of media staging to occur. They say a media staging has been established at the northwest corner of Lindbergh Park. And they also are saying that the reunification center is at 4141 Ashford Street in San Diego, California. So, again, lots of news coming in. I can tell you we were just talking a moment ago about the mayor's reaction to all of this. The mayor of the mayor of San Diego saying this. I'll pull it back up on your screen. We read it for you a few moments ago. Here is the mayor of San Diego just a few moments ago saying, quote, San Diego PD has confirmed that there is no ongoing threat to the community. Thank you to the community. Thank you to San Diego Police Department, San Diego Fire Department, and all our law enforcement partners who quickly responded. To protect lives and secure the area. And I apologize if I'm not trying to stutter here. It's just I'm monitoring a bunch of different things all at one time. So I'm trying to get you guys of the information here because just in here, and I'll pull it up full screen for you guys because we are getting into new reporting. This reporting this time coming in from the New York Times. Again, just all of this breaking right now, and I'm going to try to see if I can't pull it up for all of you. They say, can I pull this up here? This is from the New York Times, and you can see it now on your screen where they are again right now reporting that a guard was killed at the Islamic Mosque Center. That is a mosque leader is now saying that. Again, I'm trying to work with my sources here, and I'm checking again the news sources there that are reporting behind me, and then I have another screen of those reporting in front of me. So I'm checking those right now to see if we have any type of new developing information that is coming in. But again, I can bring you this reporting not only from the New York Times, but it's also from CNN that says a guard was killed in the shooting at the San Diego Islamic Center. This all just coming in within the last few moments here. And of course, we are following it and are bringing it to you as we learn of it. We also have a secondary live feed that is at Sharp Memorial, which is a hospital that is, according to the local NBC affiliate in San Diego, they are reporting that patients have since been arriving at the Sharp Memorial. That is from the local NBC station there, bringing that information. So lots of big stories that we are monitoring right now. We are trying to again bring you the most up-to-date information as we get it. And I again want to bring you that again we're learning a guard has been killed in all of this. Okay, If you're watching us on any of our platforms, what we are going to do here, sneak in a quick break. We are learning that there could be some type of press conference to come to you at any moment. We are on standby for that press conference. As soon as it does, we will bring you there live. There is other stories we do have to cover, though, in this later edition of Brooklyn News Live. As we now approach about 30 minutes or so, we're going to try to fit in all of the stories. We also have an understanding that President Donald Trump is expected to speak at 3:30. If he makes remarks on any of this, we will bring that to you live as well. Stick with us here as we continue our coverage on Brooklyn News Live. We've got more coming for you here in just a few moments. You are watching Brooklyn News Live on a Monday here as we continue to, and excuse me here, I'm also working on all kinds of different information behind the scenes. But we're going to be right back with you here and just coming up here in just a moment. Stick with us. You are watching Brooklyn News Live on a Monday. And welcome back here into Brooklyn News Live. I'm Jackson Mitchell. We are continuing to take a live look right now at an extremely active scene out of San Diego. As soon as we learn that there is going to be some type of not only press conference, but some type of where press is going to speak, press is going to be able to ask questions. That's what I'm trying to say there. We will take you there live. Stick with us here. You are watching Brooklyn News Live. Again, I'm Jackson Mitchell. It is Monday, May 18th, 2026. Off to a busy, busy start. We do want to start also with some news that came in. This is coming into us really just at the about 1 p.m. is when we learned of this. A jury finding that OpenAI did not violate did not violate what Elon Musk alleged to violated its original mission. Is what exactly that was. We're learning now that a jury said they did not violate their original mission. That came into us moments ago. Lawyers for both teams did speak after the ruling from the jury. We were going to bring you those. We're kind of running a little short on time here. So again, but we did want to bring you that Elon Musk lost that suit against OpenAI. I want to note here, I'm gonna try to keep maybe one of these up here as we kind of do monitor it. Here's what I actually can do for you. And I'm going to try to work with you here. But what I can do is bring you all of these, and I will take this away just so we're able to see it there. It's there. We're monitoring it, that live feed there. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. If we get something, we'll bring it to you live. And I'll also keep the NBC local affiliate pulled up on the other side of things just in case anything changes on that front. Also, over the week, President Donald Trump, late last week, coming back from Beijing after that 2-day summit, President Trump arriving back at the White House again. As I noted a few moments ago, he's actually expected to speak coming up here in a little bit. He talked about the Great Wall of the People, which is where this summit had been held. This is what President Donald Trump had said about all of it here. He said, quote, China has a ballroom and so should the US. And I'm going to see if I can't, when it's overlaying something. Here we go. China has a ballroom and so should the USA. It's under construction ahead of schedule and will be the finest facility of its kind anywhere in the USA. Thank you for all the support I have been given in getting this project going. Scheduled opening will be around September of 2028. The man I am walking with is President Xi of China and one of the world's great leaders, President Donald J. Trump. Excuse me here. I'm trying to read all this information to you, but again, I'm also monitoring a bunch of different live cameras here, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping you guys up to date on what exactly is going on there as well. So President Trump complimenting the infrastructure in China, specifically the Great Wall of the People. Now, that's not the only thing that was likely discussed by the U.S. and Chinese president. Here's Xi Jinping outlining the conversations on the final day of the summit.
So far, we have established a new relationship between our two countries, a constructive and strategic relationship. This can be said to be a milestone visit, and we have reached many understandings on cooperative outcomes. This place is part of the former Imperial Garden and has a very strong sense of history. When I walked over here with the president, we stopped for a moment. Those trees are hundreds of years old, and one of them is 490 years old. In the palace area, there are also trees over 1,000 years old. The president was also very interested in our flowers, and I mentioned that I would arrange to send some of our Chinese rose seeds as a gift to the president.
Yeah, there, so you can hear just the meeting between the two. President Trump, he also called the talks very productive. Now, Taiwan, it's one of the most important issues in these talks between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping, because China claims Taiwan as its own territory, while the United States supports Taiwan's defense and democracy. Taiwan is also a major producer of computer chips used around the world, so any conflict involving the island could impact the global economy, technology, and military stability in Asia. Take a listen to President Trump on all of this.
The arms sale.
So President Xi and I talked a lot about Taiwan. He thinks they cannot have anything to do with what they're doing. I mean, he's against very much what they're doing. We talked about Taiwan, we talked about Iran a lot, and I think we have a very good understanding with both. On Taiwan, he does not want to see a fight for independence because that would be a very strong confrontation, and I heard him out.
Are you going to change your wording?
No, I didn't make a comment on it. I heard him out. I have a lot of respect for him. On Iran, it's very...
Mr. President Xi said there was a risk of conflict with the U.S. over Taiwan.
No, I don't think so. I think I think we'll be fine. He doesn't want to see a war. On Taiwan, he feels very strongly. I made no commitment either way. We'll see what happens.
What about the arms sales to Taiwan?
I'll make a determination over the next fairly short period.
You're not necessarily going to go ahead. It was your proposal.
I'm going to make a determination. I'm going to see. I have to speak to the person that right now is, you know who he is, that's running Taiwan.
There we go. President Trump talking about all of this. This comes amid Now what we're learning is a war on Iran, because of course Iran would have been a big topic in all of this. New reporting is Trump in a new phone call says Iran tells Axios, whether in a phone call, that the clock is ticking until the U.S. will launch harder strikes. This is President Trump on Iran following the meeting.
We did discuss Iran. We feel very similar to Iran. We want that to end. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We want the straits open. We're closing it now. I mean, they closed it, and we closed it on top of them. But we want the straits open, and we want them to get it ended, because it's a crazy thing. They're a little bit crazy, and it's no good. Can't have it. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
So there you go. You got President Donald Trump talking about the latest on the war on Iran, saying it cannot happen, and that China agrees with the U.S. where it stands on that. And this new article from Axios, as you see there in that new phone call, where President Trump tells Axios, quote, the clock is ticking for Iran, and warned that if the Iranian regime doesn't come with a better offer for a deal, quote, they are going to get hit much harder. Now, Axios says why it matters. U.S. officials say that Trump wants a deal to end the war, but Iran's rejection of many of his demands and refusal to make meaningful concessions on its nuclear program has put the military option back on the table. Now, this is reporting also from Axios, but multiple other sources confirming that Trump is expected to convene his top national security team in the Situation Room on Tuesday to discuss military options, the two U.S. officials said there. So, behind the scenes, Trump met Saturday with members of his national security team at his Virginia Golf Club to discuss Iran, a source with knowledge said. Attendees did include Vice President J.D. Vance, White House envoy Steve Witkoff, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and CIA Director John Ratcliffe. I'm sorry. A lot going on in my head here, but again, that new reporting in from Axios saying that the president is warning that this could be the last few moments until a heavier strike on Iran. Big story to follow there. All as fuel prices, they are continuing to rise right now. The national average sitting at about $4.51 yesterday. It remained the same. That is same for Arkansas and Jonesboro. $4 is what we look at right now throughout the natural state and throughout the city of Jonesboro. Of course, if oil prices continue to rise, while there is still no active fighting, there is also no peace talks in the war taking place right now. Now, this comes also as the president was pressed hard during an interview on Fox News that aired last week on Iran's pain tolerance. As it has been widely reported, the president may have thought this was going to be an event similar to what the Trump administration did in Venezuela with capturing the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, taking him out, and then that was all over. Well, it hasn't been exactly that. Here's the president as he was pressed on Iran's pain tolerance.
Why are we where we are? Did you underestimate the pain tolerance that Iran has?
I didn't underestimate anything. We hit them unbelievably hard. Look, we left their bridges. We left their electricity capacity. We can knock that all out in 2 days. 2 days, everything. We left Cargill, and other than, I said, hit it except for the valves where the oil comes out, because when you hit that, that means you're going to lose a little oil. But one thing is happening, amazingly. Ships are floating up to Texas and Louisiana, and they're going to Alaska, and they're loading up with oil like.
So there you go. That is President Trump being pressed by Bret Baier. And again, that is really just the big takeaways here from this trip in Beijing. I want to stand by here because we are in just about 25 minutes ago or so getting a 36-second video. And I apologize if you just heard a piece of that. A 36-second video in from the Islamic Center of San Diego on this shooting. Here's what we're going to do here as you continue to take a look. We're going to kind of transfer back to our breaking news here. A new video just coming in. One moment here as you take a look now full screen at where things stand at that scene right this moment. San Diego police just moments ago confirming that the active shooter has been neutralized. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you that video. I'm actually going to put it up on your screen here now. This is a video coming in a second ago from the mosque about all of this. I want you to take a listen here at the video. This is posted onto Facebook.
This is Imam Taha from the Islamic Center of San Diego. I wanted to send this message to the entire Muslim community in San Diego. Alhamdulillah, we are safe. The entire school is safe. All the kids, all the staff, and the teachers are safe out of the Islamic Center. We have few casualties, not confirmed yet. There is no threat at this moment, but we want everyone to stay away from the Islamic Center of San Diego. We are closed for the rest of the day. Stay safe, stay at home, and make a lot of prayers and a lot of dua. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Imam Taha from the Islamic Center of San Diego. I wanted to send this message to the entire Muslim community in San Diego. Alhamdulillah, we are safe. The entire school is safe. All the kids, all the staff, and the teachers are safe out of the Islamic Center. We have few casualties, not confirmed yet. There is no threat at this moment, but we want everyone to stay away from the Islamic Center of San Diego. We are closed for the rest of the day. Stay safe, stay at home, and make a lot of prayers and a lot of dua. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Imam Taha from the Islamic Center of San Diego. I wanted to send this message to the entire Muslim community in San Diego. Alhamdulillah, we are safe. The entire school is safe. All the kids, all the staff, and the teachers are safe out of the Islamic Center. We have few casualties, not confirmed yet.
Okay, and we do want to again continue our coverage here on this busy day news here that has been getting back to some of those big headlines that have been made. We do need to talk about some key evidence that has been found in the trial for Luigi Mangione. All news this morning here in a pretrial hearing for the alleged killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Luigi Mangione, the suspect here, was in court today for hearing on evidence found in a backpack when Mangione was found at a Pennsylvania McDonald's. Listen here at that ruling that the judge made. Alrighty there. It looks like we might be having some technical difficulties with the audio for that video. Please stand by here. We're going to try to get you that video. Give us just about 3 minutes or so, and we should have that video ready for you. Again, Luigi Mangione appearing in that pretrial hearing earlier this morning, where it all had to do with the question whether officers legally searched the bag and a bag under New York law where this killing happened. A warrant would be needed here. The judge ruling not exactly in favor of the defense, but also not exactly in favor of the prosecution, ruling that a diary could be used in this all. Here, as I'm standing by here for that video to finish uploading here. Again, key evidence allowed in that Luigi Mangione trial. Here's what we'll do. We're going to come back to all of this. We're going to sneak in a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the final little bits of this story. Not only that, we've also got some other legal headlines we are going to bring you. And plus, we are continuing to monitor a very, very active scene right now at the Islamic Center of San Diego. We will bring you more of that coming up here in just a moment. You are watching Brookland News Live. Stick with us. We're back in just a moment. Welcome back here on the Brooklyn News Live. I'm Jackson Mitchell, continuing to monitor what is a very, very active scene at the Islamic Center of San Diego, a mosque there, after an active shooter event broke out against students who are being schooled there. It is a Monday, just as we approach the end of the school year. We know students were evacuated from the building. Casualties have been announced by the Islamic Center. They say they're not confirmed. That does, again, also confirm earlier reporting from the New York Times and CNN. We are awaiting a press conference to come. As soon as it does, we will take you there live. Again, it'll be kind of in the bottom side of your screen here as we will continue to monitor that scene and bring you updates from it. Alrighty, this is some new legal news in key evidence allowed in the Mangione hearing. Wanted you to take a listen here as we kind of finish out this segment we were bringing to you a few moments ago. Take a listen here to the ruling from the judge.
So as to the map issues, I find that the search of the backpack at the McDonald's was improper, warrantless search, that the backpack was not within the immediate control or grabbable area of the defendant, and further, the people failed to demonstrate exigent circumstances. Therefore, those items found in the backpack during the search at the McDonald's will be suppressed. However, the people have established that the subsequent search of the backpack at the station was a valid inventory search, and therefore the items recovered at the station will not be suppressed. So as to the Huntley issue, I find that the defendant was not in custody until about 9:47 a.m. So any statements before that will not be suppressed. However, as Miranda warnings were not given until some seconds after 9:48 in the morning, those statements made shortly before that in response to improper custodial questions that were not merely a request for pedigree information will be suppressed. The remaining statements will not be suppressed as they were either spontaneous or a request for pedigree or safety-related questions. So those statements will be permitted.
Yeah, so some big news there being talked about as, again, we are learning some key evidence now being allowed in all of this. Key evidence being allowed in this trial here. Give me one moment here. I'm fixing something else. Okay. We've just gotten into some new reporting on that shooting. We're going to bring that to you here coming up in just a few moments. Stick with us for that. We are also now learning that Alex Murdaugh has sued the court clerk Becky Hill, the clerk that the Supreme Court ruled was the reason that there was a need for retrial here. So that coming in, the team of lawyers representing Murdaugh announced this afternoon that he would be suing the court clerk that the Supreme Court all made this ruling for. Take a listen to his lawyers speaking earlier today at a press conference.
We filed a lawsuit on behalf of Richard Alexander Murdaugh Sr. versus Rebecca Hill. In this lawsuit, we file it under the Federal Civil Rights Statute 42 United States Code 1983 to redress constitutional deprivation of rights. Those rights were Alex's right to a fair trial, a right that him be tried before an untampered, untainted jury. With the South Carolina Supreme Court's ruling, it has been adjudged as a matter of state law that she deprived Alex of his constitutional rights, deprived him of a right to a fair trial, and as a result, we've got to do it all over again, which nobody wants to do. The damages that we've alleged include the over $600,000 that was spent to try the first case and other compensatory damages.
So there you go. That information just in from this morning as well, really from about this afternoon. Alex Murdaugh now suing that court clerk. Questions about jury selection and money were also made during that press conference. It was questions about the jury, which is the same question I kind of had. How do you find jurors when everybody in the world likely has heard about this case? There's been so many documentaries about it. They say they are considering a motion to relocate the trial to another county. Now, when it talks about money, they do say that Alex Murdaugh is broke, to put it in plain English terms here, but that once they sign up for a case, they feel like this case isn't over yet, so they're still tracking this exact same case. So some big news in there from that from officials, lawyers for Alex Murdaugh. Want to take you back to this active scene that we are monitoring. San Diego police confirming the active shooter incident at the mosque has been neutralized. We are now getting in. It looks like a press conference is about to begin. Let's actually turn the audio up and listen in.
So please, Chief Skawa. This is every community's worst nightmare. I want to give you some preliminary information to put a lot of minds at ease. There is no further threat. Both suspects in this case are deceased. All of the kids are safe. Our hearts go out to the families that are in this moment being notified of what has happened to their loved ones. We have 3 confirmed adults that are deceased at the Islamic Center. There is a lot of preliminary information that we're going to try to highlight and cover, but understand it's going to take us some time to get accurate information out to everyone. Here's what we know so far. At about 11:43, we received a call of an active shooter at the Islamic Center. Within 4 minutes, officers arrived on scene and observed immediately 3 what appeared to be deceased victims out in front. They immediately began to deploy with an active shooter response into the mosque and adjacent school. At about the same time, we began to receive calls from just a couple blocks away that we had more active gunfire. Officers were also responding to that call for service at the same time. There was a landscaper that was doing his work that was shot at and fortunately was not hit. That was at about the 7100 block of Salerno, which is just a couple blocks from here. Moments later, at the 3800 block of Hatton, officers were called to that location where they found a vehicle in the middle of the street with who we believe to be the shooters in this incident, both deceased. The circumstances that led up to this and the details of what happened and exactly which time it happened will come out in the days ahead. I can tell you, this is, in 28 years, this is the most dynamic and impressive response that I have ever seen in policing. We have every single police officer available throughout our county that dropped what they're doing and did exactly what they're trained to do: run towards gunfire. I could not be more proud, and I cannot express the gratitude, the willingness to step into harm's way in a moment like this. And I tell you what got me. watching the kids come running out. Just thankful to be alive. I want to bring up Mark Remley from the FBI. Because of the Islamic Center location, we are considering this a hate crime until it's not. And at this point, we're going to work closely with the FBI to make sure that we are matching all the resources that we need for this investigation. So, Mark?
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Remley. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI San Diego Field Office. Today, the FBI responded to assist our local law enforcement partners at the Islamic Center of San Diego. This was based on reports of an active shooter. As the chief said, what we know at this time is that there are 3 deceased adult males, and those are the presumed victims at this time. On behalf of the FBI, we extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of the victims of this tragic incident. There were 2 subjects, both teenagers, and both are confirmed deceased. I want to thank our local law enforcement partners for their quick response that undoubtedly saved the additional loss of life. The FBI is meticulously assessing the situation and is prepared to employ every resource we have to uncover the facts of this incident. No community should have to go through such a tragic incident, but we will work tirelessly until we learn the truth. We have on scene a number of special agents, task force officers, our evidence response personnel, victim specialists, and many more. As we work through this investigation, we ask for your patience to determine any motive and facts associated with the shooting. The FBI continues to ask for the public's help in providing any information that could help us resolve this investigation, and we remind the public that any detail, no matter how small, could be useful. The FBI has set up a digital media tip line for information regarding the shooting. We ask that the public submit their tips to FBI.gov or call 1-800-CALL-FBI with any information you may have. Thank you.
One more piece of information that I failed to put out. There is a reunification center set up at 4125 Hathaway, where parents could be reunified with their kids and any other loved ones that might be related to the Islamic Center. That is the location where you can be reunified. Next, I want to bring up the Mayor of San Diego, Mayor Todd Gloria.
Thank you, Chief. I want to be here to reemphasize what our police chief said. The threat currently has been addressed. Children are safe, and that is a good thing. Obviously, we've had the loss of life here at the Islamic Center of San Diego. To our local Muslim community, my prayers are with you. I want to assure our Muslim community that we will do everything it takes to make sure that you can feel safe in this city. And no resource will be spared in making sure that our religious institutions and locations are protected in this sensitive time. I want to respond to our calls to clear the area, to allow law enforcement to do their jobs. I ask you to continue to do that. You hear otherwise, as Chief said, students can be picked up at the church just down the street here. We have that information already sent out. I would just say at this time, obviously we'll have more comments later today. But at this moment, I want to simply express my immense gratitude and that of all 4 million San Diegans for the incredible law enforcement response that we saw here today. As Chief mentioned, response within 4 minutes. This is what we train for. This is what we ask of our public safety professionals, and they absolutely deliver in the way that we ask them to do so. I appreciate our San Diego Police Department, our San Diego Fire and Rescue Department, our Chief of the Fire Department is here as well as our local, state, and federal partners, many of whom have been in touch with me directly, recognizing the gravity of this situation and why it is so such a tragic situation for which there'll be a lot more work to be done in the days and weeks ahead. Again, my condolences to the victims and their families. Muslim community, one of our great leaders is here, Taha. directly impact this time for making sure that we do everything that's necessary to get the incident that was here today, but to reassure, as I always will, it has no place in San Diego, and when it happens and a crime of any nature occurs, we will hold you accountable. Again, appreciation to public safety professionals. I'll turn it back to our chief.
I'll open it up to questions here in just a second.
Alrighty there, you and listen again to a press conference, and excuse me there for that long pause, but a press conference from just moments ago, or still happening right now at this moment, out of San Diego after that active shooter incident where 3 had been confirmed dead at that center in that mosque in San Diego, excuse me here. 2 suspects, also 2 teenage suspects is what, according to the FBI special agent in charge, also confirming that information. So 3 adults, 2 suspects, all dead at this moment in time here. No big information confirmed. The police chief there noted that this Scott Wall, who is the San Diego police chief, noted that this is being considered a hate crime until it is found that it was not a hate crime. So we're going to follow it, and we will bring you updates as soon as we get them on this. What we are going to do here on Brooklyn News is sneak in a very quick commercial break. When we've come back, we've got more headlines to get to. You are watching a Monday edition of Brooklyn News Live, a busy, busy Monday edition. Stand by with us. We are back here in just a moment. Alrighty, so a big news day. I want to thank you all so much for sticking with us throughout all of this, because again, it has been so busy. We will continue bringing you guys updates if we get any more throughout the next little bit here on the latest on that mosque shooting. Here's what we do want to bring you right now. 2 Navy jets, they collided mid-air. I want to show you some of that video. It is scary, and it might be disturbing to some of our viewers. And it looks like we might. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm looking for the video, and I'm not exactly seeing it here. But 2 jets collided mid-air during an air show. During an air show that was in Idaho, and excuse me here as we work to get that video. Here's what we're going to do, and I understand we had a big technical difficulties. We're working on an entire separate system, so I'm still learning it. Please be patient here. Still working, trying to get information to all of you, though, and still bring the same headlines to all of you. Okay, we're going to change topics here. We're going to now go to another breaking story that came out earlier today that we learned of. An ICE agent has been charged in, this was really just a big case, has been charged after after the Trump administration's ICE reforms that occurred and ICE campaigns that occurred in Minneapolis. Christian Castro, who is 52, was charged with assault relating to the January shooting of Venezuelan immigrant Julio C. Sosa Celeste in Minneapolis. The incident sparked violent protests during the Trump administration's immigration crackdown earlier this year. Now, Castro faces 4 counts of second-degree assault and 1 count of falsely reporting a crime. Federal agents initially refused to share information, stymieing in state investigation. Trump administration's Operation Metro Surge aimed to root out illegal immigration, condemned by Minnesota Democratic leaders and federal judges. Now, this, of course, is a developing story we are continuing to follow, and will bring you new news as soon as we get it. Alrighty, we also want to take you to this other big story coming out today. This is about President Trump. We're learning that, well, it's an interesting move by the president, but we are learning earlier today, President Donald Trump withdrew his $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS over the leak of his tax returns. Reports indicate his administration is considering creating a $1.7 billion fund, which has since been announced to compensate political allies who believe, well, they've been wrongly investigated and prosecuted by former DOJs. Democrats and government watchdogs have pledged to fight this arrangement, calling it, quote, corrupt and unprecedented, warning it would unjustly enrich people close to the president with taxpayer dollars. Trump's lawyers disclosed the dismissal of the case in a Florida federal court filing. Now, the fund would be highly unorthodox. It would be a highly unorthodox resolution and a demonstration of the administration's eagerness to reward allies. Notably, Trump pardoned or commuted sentences of supporters who rioted the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, and his Justice Department has approved payouts to supporters entangled in the Trump-Russia investigation and investigated and prosecuted some of his perceived adversaries. So big story there. We are also just getting in the video that we are now able to show you, showing a mid-air collision between 2 Navy jets. Take a look. Yeah, luckily all 4 of the pilots ejected safely. That was at an air show in Idaho. Very, very scary moment there. Okay, want to turn to our next story here, our forecast, what things look like over the next few days. A look right now at where things stand right now. As we go into tonight, it's going to remain humid all the way into Tuesday. Tonight, low of 75. Cloudy skies continue throughout the day. By Tuesday, a high of 85 and a low of 69. Showers could become present. So here's what you need to know right now for Tuesday. We are under a level 2 out of 5 severe weather risk, so it's something to watch. It'll be from mid-afternoon to late evening that we begin seeing this storm. The primary threats are damaging wind and large hail here, but it still, of course, is going to be something to monitor for further severe weather. Now, as we take you back to your forecast here, this comes as we are expected to see a little bit of a wetter pattern as we go through the next little bit. As we go into Wednesday, some showers could continue in the early AM hours and throughout Northeast Arkansas. High of 73, low of 64. We should see the sun begin to peek out. Now, the question is here, if we talk about this weather pattern, you see the possibility of precipitation as we go into the next few days. You take a look there at about the middle of that chart there where you see Jonesboro. We're at a 25% chance of precipitation, today. By tomorrow it's 70, then 85 by Wednesday, 50 by Thursday, 70 by Friday, 60 by Saturday, and 45 by Sunday. Of course, these are very far out views, but this comes as a very slow moving cold front is going to move through. According to the National Weather Service here, it says this front will stall and create a rainy pattern through at least the end of the weekend, but may last into the week. So very, very something to watch out for here as we go into the next few days. Now to some new reporting on, well, the national front. Late last week, the Associated Press released a new report on the FBI director saying he took a VIP snorkel at the Pearl Harbor Memorial. You heard that right. Again, new reporting coming in from the Associated Press where they say the FBI director is facing scrutiny after newly released emails showed his Hawaii trip last summer included a VIP snorkel excursion around the USS Arizona Memorial at Pearl Harbor. The sunken battleship, which serves as the final resting place for more than 900 sailors and Marines killed during the 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor, is considered one of the nation's most sacred military sites. The excursion was arranged by the military, according to the emails obtained by the Associated Press. At the time, the FBI publicly framed Patel's Hawaii visit as official business, highlighting his tour of the FBI's Honolulu field office and meetings with local law enforcement leaders. However, what the Bureau did not mention was the snorkeling outing or disclose that Patel returned to Hawaii for 2 additional days after his initial stop. The revelation has raised many questions about whether Patel has been mixing, well, government travel with personal leisure activities. The report comes as Patel has already faced major criticism over his use of FBI aircraft in international travel. Now, critics have argued here the Hawaii trip fits this broader pattern of distractions and questions whether the FBI director is really maintaining the professional standards expected of the position. Supporters, however, have defended Patel's travel as part of his efforts to build relationships with law enforcement and military officials across the country there. So, a big story coming in from the Associated Press saying, again, the FBI director, Cass Patel, well, he took a VIP snorkel while he was taking a tour of the Pearl Harbor. We are also now getting this in. Michael Banks, who is a top border official, will be stepping down. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Michael Banks announced he is stepping down in the latest leadership shakeup within the Trump administration's immigration enforcement team. Banks, who served throughout President Donald Trump's second term, said it was, quote, time to retire after 37 years in law enforcement. In interviews, Banks defended his record, saying the southern border has gone from chaos to what he called the most secure border in U.S. history. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Rodney Scott also praised Banks' leadership and thanked him for his service. We're going to sneak in another quick break. When we come back, we've got more on another story you might want to know. This one about Trump's, someone he backed in the primaries. And now those races, they're facing a lot of scrutiny and putting the spotlight on Bill Cassidy and Thomas Massie. We're going to take a look into those races coming up here in just a moment. Stick with us. You are watching Brookland News Live. Alrighty. Welcome back here into Brookland News Live. I'm Jackson with our continued coverage here on this busy Monday. Trump-backed primary races. Well, they're putting the national spotlight on 2 big candidates here, Bill Cassidy and Thomas Massie. Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie is facing one of the biggest primary challenges of his political career as Republican voters head to the poll following, well, what was a heated campaign. Massie, he represents Kentucky's 4th congressional district in the House. He's been targeted by President Donald Trump after breaking with the president on several issues over the years. Trump has publicly endorsed Massie's opponent, former Navy SEAL Ed Galrian, turning the race into a major test of Trump's influence within the Republican primary. That primary gaining lots of attention because of Massie's long history of independent voting inside the GOP. Trump has launched major attacks, and so has Massie, less direct on President Trump, but rather on the policies that President Trump has. President Trump specifically on Thomas Massie. At the same time, Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy recently failed to advance out of his Senate primary, his own Senate primary. Take a look at some of the election results there. 2 people, they're going to advance to a runoff because they didn't make it to 50%. But that third person, Bill Cassidy, he's not going to advance to that runoff. It draws attention across the country because Cassidy, he's faced backlash from many Republican voters after his 2021 vote to convict Trump during the former president's 2nd impeachment trial. Many conservatives viewed the vote as a betrayal, and Trump repeatedly campaigned against him leading up to the election. Take a look at this. This is a piece from Bloomberg. Take a listen.
I've been able to participate in democracy. And when you participate in democracy, sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. But you don't pout, you don't whine, you don't claim the election was stolen, you don't find a reason why. You don't manufacture some excuse. You thank the voters for the privilege of representing the state or the country for as long as you've had that privilege. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Clearly trying to set an example there for losing candidates of both parties. All right, the president lashed out overnight, posting Bill Cassidy after falsely using his, quote, relationship with me during his political career and winning elections because of it, voted to impeach me on preposterous charges that were fake then and now and are criminally insane. The tweet goes on to say his disloyalty to the man who got him elected is now part of legend, and it's nice to see his political career is over. That over is in all caps, followed by an exclamation point.
Luke Broadwater is a White House correspondent for the New York Times. He's also co-authored the book Madhouse about Trump's influence on Congress. Luke, great to have you with us on this Sunday. Let's talk a bit about this and the lessons that we can take away from this primary, the results of it, and the campaign that led to it in Louisiana. What should other candidates in other states, either have the president's endorsements or not, make of what happened over the course of last night in Louisiana?
Sure. Well, I guess for starters, Donald Trump, all the polling shows, is at his least popular that he's ever been. He is, underwater on just about every measure you can look at, every poll you can look at, especially when it comes to some of the core issues that he ran on originally with the economy, and people really don't like his handling of the war in Iran. That said, what this shows is that his power among Republicans is as strong as ever, right? If you want to win in a Republican primary, the way to do it is not by distancing yourself from Donald Trump.
Yeah, so there you go. The way to win is not by distancing yourself with President Donald Trump, and that is specifically exactly why this has been putting so much pressure on these candidates to take this race. And actually, as we speak here, you're taking a look live at President Donald Trump speaking right now on Trump RX. So pharmaceutical and medicine there. So big issue here as we go. The results of both races have become part of a larger conversation about all of this and the future of where the Republican Party stands. And it puts a lot of pressure on whether do Republicans, are they picking what President Trump is saying? Are they listening to the endorsements by President Trump? Or are they simply going there and choosing the Republican candidate on the ticket? And that is the question. And that is why it is putting so much pressure on this campaign and continuing to put a lot of these tests on the endorsement of President Trump and political power. Now, both Massie's race in Kentucky and Cassidy's loss in Louisiana show how much influence Trump still holds over Republican voters. So Wow. Okay. A busy start to a Monday. We had some technical difficulties by the time we got to you. Major breaking news coming out now, an hour and 25 minutes later. We're wrapping up. I want to thank all of you so much for joining us throughout the last hour and 25 minutes. That will conclude our coverage on this Monday. We'll be back with you on Thursday. We'll also be with you on Friday, I believe, as well. So stick with us for that. We've got more on all of that coming up here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.